All right, guys. Listen, we got a really special guest tonight. I'm Isaac Rivera. I'm hosting for Pedro. But the guest that we got on here tonight, he started the Crypto Mondays, man. So let's give the man the attention he deserves, the respect he deserves, and let's find out all the knowledge that he got. With that, I give you James.
Help me up here without falling. All right, let's sit. We're gonna fall?
No.
Sit next to me.
Oh, we won't fall, I promise.
I don't know, the last thing Shipwreck said to me when you get up there is, watch out, it's really slippery. So I want to start, guys, and say thank you. Thank you for coming. It's amazing to me. I've been here for 10 weeks, and when I first told my friends I was moving to Puerto Rico, they said to me, "You going to where? And do you know anybody?" And I said, "Yeah, they have Crypto Mondays. I'm going to have 200 friends on the first day." The truth is, that's the fact, right? And I look around the room here, and there's, I'm friends with, 50% of you guys. I've talked to another 25%, and unfortunately, I remember the names of like 1% because I'm challenged. But it's really been amazing to come here and to meet the community and see what Pedro's accomplished here in terms of bringing people together. So what I thought we'd talk about is I thought I'd say a few words about why I care about crypto, and then a few words about why we founded Crypto Mondays and what it means, and then talk a little bit about the opportunity that the success of Crypto Mondays has, the opportunity of what it creates for all of us, what we can do here in Puerto Rico, and how that could be significant around the world if we focus together and we form a community. Everyone, it's interesting, people have been asking me the same question as I walk around the room, which is, what's the topic? What's the topic? And the topic is community, right? The topic is, what can we accomplish together? And what does it mean when you forget about the differences between you and other people and you celebrate the things that you have in common? And that one thing in common for us here is crypto, right? It's our own love of crypto, our need to share why we love crypto, and the idea of how we can change the world, how all of a sudden that there's the opportunity for us to change the world, right? People think that the technology is what matters. People think that they come in and they pitch their business and they show me the electrons on a screen and the app on their phone and how it works, and that's supposed to be interesting. But the reality is that technology on its own is not interesting, right? It's something works, it's binary. Yes, it works, no, it doesn't. But if there aren't people attached to it, if there isn't the energy that humans interchanging information and value and identity together, if you're not exchanging that, then the platform is not a business, it's just a bunch of electrons. And the thing that brings the value is the people, right? And the thing that's different about crypto from where we've been in the world in the last couple hundred years is it's never been easier for people to create communities together and to share the benefit of those communities together and to bring in larger and larger numbers of people, where instead of having each person being a cost to the system, each person actually gains more because their contribution to the system is greater than the cost of bringing them in. And that's the systems in crypto that are so successful and that we're looking to build. And that's a new paradigm. That's a different form of capitalism. It might not even be capitalism if you're allowed to say it out loud, right? And so so first of all, I did not found Crypto Mondays. I co-founded Crypto Mondays with a gentleman named Lou Kerner. And so Lou and I were partners about 4 years ago. And we were sitting there, two middle-aged Jewish guys in a room with nothing to do on Monday nights. And a bar called Bagatelle that we didn't even know was a hot bar where people danced on the tables, asked us, can we rent you the room for $5,000 on Mondays? And we were like, absolutely not. So we said, but if you'll do it, we'll throw a party for crypto. We'll call it Crypto Mondays, and we'll charge you 10% of the bar tab. And they looked at us and said, we're crazy. And then we said, yeah, but we're serious. And they said, okay. So Lou and I decided to publish. He was one of the founders of Meetup.com. We published in Meetup.com. We're doing Crypto Mondays. Nobody knew what it was. We had no mailing list. We had no anything. We passed around the word as around the city. It was New York City. It was the second week of January 4 years ago. And we go there, and Bagatelle did a beautiful job, and they had food out, and they had waitresses, and they had candles, and it was spectacular. And Lou and I go there at 6:30 when we called the party, and there's nobody there. Literally nobody there. And the two of us sat there, and Lou drinks, and I guess I drink too. And so the two of us were sitting there drinking at a table for an hour, and there was nobody in the room. And we were sitting there looking at each other going, oh my God, this is completely embarrassing. And then after about an hour and 15 minutes, a kid walked in with a knapsack and glasses, a total coder, and sat in the very corner and opened up his computer, and God knows, probably a hacker. We had no idea what was going on. He just sat there, we're going, all right, we're in trouble. But then in about 15, 20 minutes, all of a sudden, people started streaming in, and we looked around, and after half an hour, we looked up, and there was 250 people in the room, and they were talking, and they were interchanging, and they were telling stories, and we looked around, and we were like, wow, this thing is actually real. And it was, no one was more surprised than we were, that people showed up, and that started to take on a life of its own. And so we started to do more Crypto Mondays in New York every Monday, and then we got a call from a young lady in Florida. Her name was Erica Gemma. And Erica is a really dynamic woman. She's actually, if you read about Miami and how they're going Bitcoin friendly, it's really her work with the mayor. So Crypto Mondays has actually been part of the story of Miami becoming a Bitcoin center. And then it went to San Francisco, and then Asia, and then we found Pedro in Dubai. Actually, no, sorry, in Malta. I met Pedro in Malta, and he took it over. And I think you guys all know and love Pedro in his special way.
He's a special guy.
He's definitely special. We'll talk about definition of special later. But listen, the man has heart, and none of us would be sitting in this room right now if it wasn't for Pedro. And so deep respect for him and what he's done. And I think that we're ready for the next phase of Crypto Mondays. And I think that that's really what I'd like to talk about here, is the fact that the hard part Pedro has done. Okay, he came down here and he spent his money and his sweat and his blood and his time in creating a real community of people around who are able to communicate with each other and create opportunities with each other and gather in a way which creates a flat organization where you can really approach anybody, whether it's any level of business, any level of success comes here and you can walk up. And that's what I love about Crypto Mondays, is when I walk around, I'm a shy person. But at Crypto Mondays, I've learned that I can stick my hand out to any person and just say, hi, I'm James. And the person comes back, and that turns into a conversation, and that turns into relationships. And I hope that you all in the room have that same feeling, that when you come to these events, that this is a safe place. And this is a place where people care about what you care about. And what we care about isn't really crypto. Right? It's not about the technology. What we care about is that we have a unique opportunity right now to change the world. There's never been a time in history of mankind where you could reach out and touch as many people with as little effort and as little capital investment as there is today. The only thing you need now is an idea and a way to express it so that you can create a virus that infects other people and creates a movement together with you. And if you look at the list of platforms now that have market caps of more than $1 billion, it's growing at leaps and bounds, almost on a weekly basis. It's growing by 20-30% every week. And when we turn around and we look 2-3 years from now and where we're going to be, that's going to be bigger than NASDAQ. That's going to be bigger than the New York Stock Exchange. Right? And we're going to have accomplished from where we all came from 4 or 5 years ago and where we're going now, where we're going in the future, is to create a new financial, social, economic, religious, and educational order, where we're going to have a say in how our children are educated. We're going to have a say in who we can do business with. And we're going to have a say in what form we hold value and who we can transact that value with. right? And when we get down to our basic rights, the basic right of self-expression, the basic right to hold value and exchange it with who you want, the idea that people can tell you how to hold your money and where you can do it and where you can transfer it and how you can use it, that really is censorship, right? Because you'll say anything, right? People in the room, you'll talk, and everyone talks and talks, right? But where you spend your money, okay, that matters. You don't spend your money lightly. You don't write a check to someone you don't want to write it to. You don't transfer money to someone you don't want to give it to. And you don't support a cause unless you care about it, right? And so the idea that we will not understand that how we hold our value, how we transact value and information, that is a sacred right of ours, like that is something which is going to change as we go forward. And I think that that's something that we're fundamentally a part of. I want to talk for 1 second about why I think blockchain is important, and then talk about community. So people tend to look at opportunities and they put them in terms of dollars, right? Everything's about how valuable it is, how much money there is in it. But the reality is the value of the Bitcoin blockchain to me is not money, okay? The fact that it has so much money attached to it, so much attention, so many people banging on it, means that it's secure. Because if there were problems in it, we would probably know already. Because there's so many millions of people banging on it on a daily basis, and because it matters so much. Which means that that blockchain actually has the best chance of any item that we have, any concept that we have globally amongst humanity, of representing a truth, a source of truth that people can agree on. If you look around you today, you watch TV, you read the newspaper, you talk to your best friends. But you can't even talk to your best friends anymore without having a problem figuring out what's true, right? Is COVID real or not? Is the vaccine good or not, right? Was Trump good or not?
We won't go there.
Right? I know, but seriously, this is what you talk with your friends, and you can't even have the conversation because there's nowhere to start. You can't even get to, is the light on or is the light off, right? And so I believe that the true value of the Bitcoin blockchain is going to be that we can trust the intelligence of the crowd, that you can pick a point on this blockchain and it's either 0 or 1. There's no politics, there's no metadata, there's nothing attached to it. It's just 0 or 1. And I think in the long run that this blockchain is going to be the anchor for us to be able to grow as humanity globally in a new political system, because we'll be able to point at individual points and it'll either be 0 or 1. And that 0 or 1 will form the basis of understandings as we go forward. So we'll have one common backbone where human interactions can anchor themselves so that you can start at a point where two people agree and then move forward for it. And to me, that's where the value of this is, in the idea of starting consensus and how do we find agreement and how do we move forward. And I think that that's where we're going to see the real value is going forward. So if you grow upon that, the idea is, how do you then form communities around these ideas? And the ideas and that's around crypto, and that's the tokenization. The value of the tokens is the way that we communicate with each other. So when I look at where we are here, okay, I came down here 10 weeks ago, and I've always believed in giving to the community. I've founded 2 different not-for-profit organizations. One's called We Forest, which has planted 50 million trees. And we're trying to, I have to compete with food now. I planted 50 million trees with the idea of giving farmers nut and fruit-bearing trees that they'll keep alive, so that we give people a way to support themselves. So we decentralize the ownership and profit from the tree to individuals, because what we wanted was have the tree be alive. We don't care about the money, we care about the carbon sequestration. And the second one that I formed was a company called Urban Arts, which is an organization which has 150,000 students in the United States, and it brings arts education into the classroom, because the kids don't care about the classes, they care about the extracurriculars. And so what we do is we have the extracurricular activity create the demand and answer the question of, why do I need to learn physics? Why do I need to learn the arts? And the answer is because there's things you want to do in your life that actually depend on these things.
So you came to Puerto Rico and you're helping.
So I'm trying to figure out, this is why I want to ask everyone in the room for help here. And I think it's not really helping me, it's helping ourselves and helping each other. So I came here, it's so obvious that there's so much to do on this island, right? It's a beautiful island. The people are amazing, right? But look how few people from Puerto Rico, really Puerto Rico, are in this room right now, right? And to me, that's an incredible weakness of this community. And it's something which a lot of people have tried to solve, and it's not easy. There's no easy answer, and I don't have some formulaic answer where I get up here and you do A, B, and C, and it answers. But I think that we should be challenging ourselves internally to try and figure out what is it that we can do as a community, to start to help the island so that we become truly important members and together become part of the community. That we're not outsiders, that we're not just here for a tax break, right? And that we don't become resented as, for what we do, because there is a chasm between the haves and the have-nots. A person that comes down here for tax breaks has a different political, social, economic background than the people that live here, that were here before, and honestly are going to be here after, right? And I really would like for us at Crypto Mondays to kind of try to figure out what is it that we could do that would enable us to give. And by giving, I mean teach someone how to fish instead of giving them fish. I'm a big believer that you don't really help someone with charity. No one's ever gotten wealthy with charity, right? You get wealthy because someone taught you a skill, because you had a mentor that showed you a different way, that allowed you to have a spark and the security to take a chance. And so my belief is that you start one act at a time, one person at a time, one event at a time. You don't try and change the whole island, but I think we could each start with something that I always talk to my kids about, which is every day do one act of unexpected and uncompensated kindness. Just make it a point at some point during the day when you're walking on the street and you can help one person, just help them. Whether it's buy them a Coke, help them across the street, help them with the package they're carrying. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, but just be that person so that you're an ambassador to our community, and that people look up and they will remember that act. That act will matter to them so much more than it cost you. And by doing that every day, and by doing it over and over again, and by representing that starts the energy that we need to share. Because the second thing that I always focus on is to give the energy that you want to receive. So if you're out there, and this is a big thing about Crypto Mondays to me, people come to me and they say thank you. And I always smile, and I always say the same thing, which is no, thank you. And thank you, because if it wasn't for you guys here, and the guys in all the Crypto Mondays, and by the way, we're in 61 cities in 25 countries with 30,000 followers around the world. Yeah, so it's really nice.
Crypto, that deserves
but it's all you guys. And you can go into any of these cities on Monday and just look up Crypto Monday, and that's what I do. Like, I knew I was going to have 200 friends in Puerto Rico, right? But people say thank you, and I say thank you, and the reason I say thank you is because if it wasn't for you, I'd be at home playing FIFA, on my computer at home, drinking beer on my, alone with my dog, right? So it really is, when you look around and look at the people that are here, it's really you guys that are making this whole thing possible. And so B is random acts of kindness. It matters, right? And then give the energy that you want to receive. And the last thing, the last piece is to do things that are specific. There was an entrepreneur who I went out with last week, and I don't see him here, and he basically was talking about starting a political movement, and he wanted to do it across Puerto Rico. And he said, looking at Crypto Mondays, how would you suggest that we get our message across and we start to be relevant in all the different, 67 municipalities, I think was the number for Puerto Rico, and how do we do this? And I said, actually, you start on one block with one organizer and one meeting, okay? And you go there and you listen. You don't talk. You don't be the outsider that has the answer, right? What you do is what we did with Crypto Mondays, and what works is we found people who wanted the baton, and we listened to them, and we figured out how we could support them. And what is it that we could do so that they would have the tools, and then we listened to what they were doing and started to take the best ideas and bring those back into the center of the website, and then allow people to grab the ideas that they wanted so there could be a decent centralized exchange of information. So, the gentleman who was doing the political movement, I said, go to one town, find one block, find one organizer, support the hell out of that person, spend some time there with the people, listen to what they're doing. When that person who emerges as the leader, that person will have a friend who's identically like them, who's in another town, who's going to have the same idea, and who's going to take the baton, and it's going to grow organically. And the harder you push, the less it's going to grow. And the more you step back and let them grow it on their own, the better chance you have of creating wildfire and having something which really has steps. And so that's the kind of thing that I'd like us to focus on. And I'm a decentralist. My partner, David Johnston back there. David, so David is my mentor. Thank you, David.
Give him a better hand than that, guys. Come on.
I will get here and repeat Johnston's law, which is anything that can be decentralized will be decentralized, right? And I really believe that. I believe that the way you become valuable in the world is by making yourself not necessary anymore, by obviating yourself. Like, I see all these people who have egos, who want to attach their names to things, who think that you need to pay attention to them, and that's what makes things important. And I completely disagree. I think the way that you succeed is when you're able to be a catalyst and to step backwards and see that the energy that you were hoping to see in the world, to see that it has its own life with other people, and see that life and enjoy that. That to me is the most gratifying feeling in the world, to see the idea that was a spark that you were part of, and to see other people grab that spark and move it forward, to me is the most exciting thing you can do. And so I'd like to have a continuing dialogue over time with the community, and within our Telegram channel and other places, to start talking about things that we're doing. And if you're doing something that's cool, if it's painting a house, if it's teaching kids how to read, to learn how to read, if it's teaching kids how to program, right? Post it and try and solicit people to come with you, and let's all volunteer with each other, and let's just try and create that energy out there together.
Together we can.
Together we can. That's all I got to say. I'm happy to take questions. I love you all. I really have learned about trusting the universe and really offering love and being willing to accept love. And I think you're all great, and I really appreciate your being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Guys, we got to thank Shipwreck also. These are, this beautiful artwork that's on the walls. It's all for sale. They do take crypto. The best bartenders that are here. You got to tip her. She likes Bitcoin, so you got to make sure she gets it. Do we have any questions for James? And are you guys starting any new exciting projects? You have 2 minutes. If you go over 2 minutes, I got permission to bong you.
Colin, come up. Where's Colin?
Colin,
come on.
Colin, where you at, Colin? Come on, tell us what you're doing. If you want, you can bring your brother up. However, because your brother's here too.
This Colin?
Yes, sir.
Man, I wasn't expecting this.
All right.
Well, first
Scary.
of all,
All right. Okay.
He was to the right.
my name is Colin, and I just moved out here from San Diego, California. And public speaking has never been my strong suit, but I appreciate the opportunity. So,
2 minutes.
about 2018, November, I came up with an idea to patent the ability to put an NFT on a smartwatch. And I had to lie to people and tell them that it was a blockchain collectible because nobody could even spell NFT at the time. And from there, we basically built the company ourselves, bootstrapped it, sacrificed, worked 8 days a week. And
Speak into the mic, Colin.
Thank you. We worked constantly to build our company, and we were able to launch it right before COVID. And so since then, we continue to bootstrap. We're launching July 15th, and we're extremely excited. We built a very new app, and a lot of the things that you mentioned.
So, Colin, what do you need? What do you need? I want to try to keep it shorter. How can people help you, and what kind of community are you trying to form while you're here?
Well, first of all, I just would like to make new friends being in Puerto Rico. We moved our whole lives out here, so moral support goes a long way. Good energy and positivity towards what we're doing. But I'm also here to help other people. I've been a mentor to a lot of other business owners. I've helped start 5 or 6 successful companies for other people. And really, I just want to know how I can help you. So I don't know what else to say about that, but
Moral support.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Anybody else got any questions? Any neat things going on in Puerto Rico? Any questions? Step this way. You got a question? Yeah. Come on.
Hey guys, how's everybody? My name is Major. I have one question. Crypto Monday. Will there be ever a way to kind of either one monetize or create like an education platform?
So it's interesting. A lot of times I've been asked, what's the business model for Crypto Mondays? Because everyone wants to relate it back to money. There is no business model for Crypto Mondays. Some of the individual cities may charge a gate fee, but no one's really built a business around it because it's very decentralized, and the truth is nobody owns it, right? So if you wanted to create scarcity and then try and lever that around Crypto Monday, it doesn't really work because everybody has the same right. If you flipped over towards a perspective of abundance as opposed to scarcity, and you looked at success as being able to affect other people, and you redefine, billionaire to being a person that affects 1 billion people, as it's been said on this island a couple times, right? Then you can talk about how you create value around Crypto Mondays. The truth is that it's cost myself and Lou some capital, but it has returned so much more financial capital, personal capital, relationships, educational. I've benefited such an amazing amount, and I think the people that come here. So the answer is, in a classic capitalist sense, I don't believe that there's profit in Crypto Monday, but I do think that there is other forms of profit that do exist and are there.
Your net worth is your net worth.
Is that how? All right. Thank you. All right, we got a poet.
Any other questions?
Gotcha.
Hello there. So yesterday at 4th of July on the beach, I was approached by a Puerto Rican woman who was like, who are all these American people over there? And she was talking like mad shit because she was upset because the community is not that integrated with other Puerto Rican individuals. So I think Crypto Monday is an amazing platform because all these amazing avant-garde people who are smart, that understand crypto come to this community. And I feel like it would be amazing if people in this community could think of ways to support the community in Puerto Rico with crypto and maybe offer some services and perhaps like teaching people how to buy crypto, how to invest, how to sell it, so that it can be a lot marketable of a currency for people in Puerto Rico, especially since it's such a cash-based economy still.
I think that's a really good point. I totally agree with you. You can address it. I totally agree with you, and I think it's not whether it's good or it's bad or how it got to be where it is. I have a Winnie the Pooh attitude, which is no matter where you are, there you are, and it doesn't matter how you got there. And we're definitely at a point right now when you look around the room, we haven't done a good job, right, of integrating into the community. And so I think that we need to, again, I think it's one person at a time, one event at a time, it's the most valuable thing that we have is time. It's not money, right? You can get infinite amounts of money. You cannot get infinite amounts of time. So I think that if we want it to happen, how you spend your time is how you create the change in the world. And so we have to look around and as individuals and as groups start to, I believe education is, what Anshe was saying, I think is a great place to start. And I think if we just started to have, a Thursday afternoon at some place where people could come to learn how to start a crypto wallet and we could probably raise some sponsorship where we could offer $10 in crypto. I can think of some protocols that are here that might want to help. Okay. She's going to talk in a second. She doesn't know it. So Anshe, it's a good idea. We should try to find some educational ways to put together. Keiko, why don't you talk for a minute?
Hi, good evening. My name is Keiko Yoshino. I'm the Executive Director of the Puerto Rican Blockchain Trade Association. And I'm so glad you raised that question because it's one of many things that I'm passionate about doing is making our community more inclusive and more accessible, especially to local Puerto Ricans. I've had numbers that come up to me with the same exact question: how do we get involved? How do we do this? What is blockchain? So coming up in this fall, I'm really looking to have volunteers who want to help teach blockchain 101 basics. How do we get involved? And then integrate them into our community, because obviously, like, together we rise. That's our tagline. It's our guidepost, and that's what we're passionate about doing. The Blockchain Trade Association, a little plug here, was that we're founded to protect Act 60, to bring community together, and to spread educational awareness. I want to work with universities and bring in corporations and pair them with corporations who are bringing jobs to make sure that the locals have a chance to get these jobs before they have to leave their home.
And how can we help you?
Thank you. So I'm currently fundraising both for the Blockchain Trade Association right now, and I'm trying to raise $500,000 for the next.
Get that easily in this room.
Yeah, for the next few months, and then also I created a 501c3 charity association called the Resiliency Fund because my passion project is building resilient children that have adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress. And I'm sure we all can say that the Puerto Rican children here have suffered one of the greatest to date pandemics, earthquakes, hurricanes. And so how can we help build up and make these children resilient? And I got a commitment from America Scores. They're a soccer and poetry after school program in the United States mainland with 12 cities, 311 schools, and 30,000 poet athletes that they are interested in expanding and coming to Puerto Rico if I can raise $1.5 million in the next 5 months. And they will come and they will train teachers to be poets and to teach poetry, to be soccer coaches, and be that mentor so that they're after school programming in public schools in around San Juan. So if you're interested in doing any of that or would love to donate or just be a member or hear more, please come find me.
How can he find you on social media?
We are PR Blockchain 1 on Twitter. We are PR Blockchain on Instagram. Our website is prblockchain.org, and the Resiliency Fund is resiliencyfund.org. And I'm Keiko, and you can reach me at keiko@prblockchain.org.
Thank you. Shipwreck. Got one more question? Okay,
I just want to say, my name is Mike. A lot of you know me. I'm involved in a group here called Puerto Ventures, and a number of different projects here that we're involved with. I just want to let everybody know, very timely, I think, and relevant. We're going to be sponsoring another event on Tuesday night. Obviously, you don't want to compete with Crypto Mondays. That would be the most
No competition.
thing you could ever do.
We're all family.
But there's going to be a two-part program. The first part of the program is basically welcome to Puerto Rico. And if you're a newcomer, to kind of help you navigate all the challenges involved with coming here as an American and try to take advantage of all the different incentives and programs and different things that Puerto Rico offers to help you hold on to your money that you work really hard to earn. And then the second half of the program is basically going to be Crypto 101, which is helping people learn the basics about getting involved in blockchain projects. And so anybody who's interested in getting involved or helping out or sponsoring or being a presenter on Tuesday, it's puertoventures.com. And so just go on there and fill out the
One of the ideas from Crypto Monday though is inclusivity. So when there's other projects and other events, I don't look at those as competitive, right? I look at those as the opportunity to get larger, not smaller, right? So the idea is that we should definitely be collaborating, right? And complement and do it together. Right? Always make it bigger. Always make it bigger. Okay, guys. I think
we got one more question here.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Rosenberg. I moved to Puerto Rico, I think 5 days ago, so I'm brand new.
Welcome.
Lovely to meet you all. I want to tell you, I've done a shit ton of things in blockchain, mostly Bitcoin, but I've done a lot of education stuff, from hosting meetups in Chicago, where I'm from, to teaching university courses, a ton of education things. And I'm delighted that this is the topic for today because that was my motivation for coming out here. It's kind of like, is the
universe.
community actually, are they locals showing up here? What's going on? So my question, is do you all ever do events in Spanish? Or do educational events in Spanish? I'm horrible at Spanish. My husband is really good at Spanish. And we do a ton of educational stuff. So I'd love to talk to you all about doing educational events and specifically in Spanish. So I think that might be very helpful if we haven't already tried that.
Good stuff. We're in the Spanish country.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, James, any last words?
No, just Shipwreck wanted me to tell you that you see that sign that says scooter rentals over there? Okay, that's where the bathrooms are. Okay, so he doesn't want you to pee in the corner. All right, and we thank you for coming, and we really, seriously, much love, guys. Thank you,
Guys, let's thank James, please. Shipwreck for hosting us in this beautiful art gallery.
Remember, all the art on the walls is for sale, and they do take crypto.
The bartenders for helping us out.